Welcome back, Mitchell Road Mustangs, to part 2 of our seedlings. We're back here for a little splash of science at the kitchen lab, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my baggies. Remember, we put them in a dark place. I don't know if you put them on your windows, maybe tape them to your windows. It's been about a week since I put them down there, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what happens. So I'm going to pull them out. Here's one of my bags. And let's see, I'm going to pull out the second one. And here's my second bag. So in this bag we had the apple seedlings and the popcorn kernels. And so I'm going to go ahead and open them and check them out and see what's happening. And I'm going to open this up. And I don't know if you can see, boys and girls, as you can see, nothing's happened to this seedling. So I'm not sure what happened. Maybe I didn't germinate them properly. And let's see what's happening to our apple seeds. I'm going to go ahead and open them. Be very careful when you open them so you don't drop any of them. Let's see. Just pull that sheet apart. And I can see, boys and girls, let me open this up. River, you should be really excited about this. I hope this worked for you, as it's worked for me. I'm going to hold it up this way. And as you can see, some of those seedlings have a little root, a little shoot coming out. So these are perfect, ready to be planted. So these are great. The apple seeds clearly worked. When you get to ready to plant, I want you to think about using some newspaper or magazine pieces where you're going to be working with dirt, because you don't want to make a big mess. And remember, ask your parents for some help, okay, when you're doing this. So definitely the corn did not work, but the apple seedlings, the apple seeds did. So we have some seedlings out of that, so we'll take care of those. We'll set those aside. And here are my beans and my peppers. And so I can pull out my peppers very carefully. Remember, they're all wrapped up in that sheet, so I want to make sure I find this beginning of that sheet because they're a real little tiny seed. And I can see, boys and girls, this is so exciting. Look at all these seeds with little tiny roots, little shoots, little tiny shoots trying to grow. So those are ready to go as well. And let's look at our beans. In my case, they were white beans, but I don't know what kind of beans you tried. And I can already see, and this is the most exciting thing, boys and girls, I'm going to handle this very carefully, by the way. When you're handling your seedling, you don't want to break it, you don't want to touch the roots, so I'm going to be extremely careful, but I want to hold it up so you can see what happened to our bean. Look at that, boys and girls. So it's trying to come out. I can see the seed coat. I can see that it's got a root system already. So this bean is ready to go. So, and I've got a couple more here that I really did well. So we're going to plant all of them. Check this one out. This one's already shed its seed coat. I can pull it away. There it is. And the embryo already has little leaves ready to go. And the root system looks really healthy. So these are perfect. And so now what you're going to need, remember we talked about what seeds need to grow. They need sunlight, they need water, and they need soil. So they had the seed had its own food, and that's how we got this little tiny seedling to grow. But now that it's ready, now that it's got a root system, that it's shed its coat, that it's got a little shoot coming out of it, now it's ready to be planted into soil, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and plant it. And I know we're at home. Maybe you don't have a container that you can plant them in. Maybe your parents do have a container and you can talk to them about it and you can plant them outdoors, because now we want them to be outdoors. So my beans, what I'm going to do is I have a few containers, some small ones, and I'm probably going to use these small ones for the apple seedlings. And remember, they have to have something on the bottom so they can drain, so that when the water goes in, it takes the nutrients from the water and then it can drain out. So this one has a little hole on the bottom. if you have maybe a cup and you want to maybe have your parents make little holes on the bottom for you. So I did that for this cup. And then maybe a leftover plastic container that you can recycle. I'm thinking that I'm going to put the pepper seeds in this. So I made a whole bunch of little tiny holes on the bottom. Get your parents to help you with that. And this one's ready to go. So here's what we're going to do today. I've got my soil, and I just purchased some soil that's good for vegetables. Made a really good mix of it. And so I'm going to go ahead and put soil on the bottom of my container. And my soil here is a little bit wet, so it's in good shape. So I'm going to fill up my container almost to the very top. And then I'm going to go ahead and take all those beautiful seedlings that I have on my paper that have a little growth from the seeds of the pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and just drop them into my soil very carefully and very gently. So I'm going to make sure that I can remove it. I see that little root, and I'm just going to put it into my soil. Have your parents help you. This is a fun activity that you can do with your parents. You can show them your progress and what a great job you've done germinating a seed. This is really exciting. I haven't had a lot of success with pepper seeds, so this is really wonderful. And don't worry about the pepper seeds. If they're turned up a little bit upside down, remember what I said about seeds? They know how to find the sun. They know which way is up. So, but you want to try to place them as best you can into the container. So some of these have not germinated yet, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add them to my soil and see what happens, because we're scientists and we can try that and see if it affects the growth. I'm trying to put each seed that has a little root growing, just a couple centimeters apart, so just like about that much from your thumb. Okay. This one's got a really long root. So I'm just putting it on the top, adding the rest of the seeds that have not yet germinated. Try not to waste any of my seeds. This is important if you're a farmer. You want to make the best of your seeds, because this is what's going to give you the produce that you're going to eat. So we want to make sure that we do the best we can with our seeds. And these are the ones that are the most time consuming. Okay, so there's all my seeds. And now I'm just going to take a little sprinkle of soil and just sprinkle it on the very top of those seeds, just so that they're covered up just a little bit. That's all I'm going to do, just a little tiny sprinkle, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and just get a little bit of water. If my soil is already wet, I'm probably not going to add a lot of water, but if it's not wet, I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of water. Now remember that while they're seedlings, you want to water about every other day. You don't want to let that soil dry up. Okay? You want to let them have a good chance at growing. So sunlight, soil, and water. That's all it's going to take. And there's my little container with all my little pepper seedlings. And we'll see what happens. In a few weeks, you'll have to post and see what happens. For my beans, since I have about 3 of those, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that your cup has a way to drain. And I'm going to put my soil in my cup. Don't fill it up all the way to the top. And then I'm going to use my finger and just make a small circle, make a space. Grab my bean from the very top and make sure that your root system goes into that little hole that you made. And I'm going to show you guys. Can you see? I'm going to hold it so you can kind of see. All right, I want to cover up the entire root system with more soil. So I'm going to go ahead and bring more soil to the top. I'm not going to touch the root system. I'm not going to try to tuck it into the soil. I'm just bringing some soil towards the top. Now I'm just tapping it. Okay, so we're going to tap, tap, tap. And let's see if I can get a little more with my fingers for the back of the seed. Now you can also plant these in a big planter outdoors, so your parents can help you with that. But there it is. I can't see the root system. I can see the root system on the side of the cup because this is a clear cup. But I've covered the entire top so that no roots are visible. And now I can add a little bit of water because my soil is a little bit dry. And I'm just going to add a little tad, not too much, just a little bit. My soil wasn't super dry. And there's my bean. That's perfect. Now for my apple seedlings, I'm going to go ahead and use a recyclable cup because they're still really, really young and I'm going to have to keep them indoors for a little while. So I'm going to try to use these, but you could use any cup, really. And I'm going to put some soil on the bottom of that. And again, I'm going to just use the top of my fingertip to just create a little tiny hole. And I'm only going to put one of the seeds. So let me see if I can grab the seed. You can see what's happening to it. I don't know if you can see that. It's like trying to grow, trying to come out. So I'm going to put the root facing down and the seed coat, the brown part, facing up. Because it has not shed its seed coat yet. So the seed coat has not come off, and I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to try to take it off. I'm going to make sure that I can see the seed coat from the top. Maybe put a little bit more soil so I don't see the root system, but I can see that little seed coat. Let me see if I can show you that. I'm going to tap it really tightly so I can flip it a little bit and you can see, but try to be gentle when you're tapping your seedling into your soil, but you want to just have it anchored into the soil. So there it is. The little seed coat is on the very top. And now I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of water. And I'm going to make sure that these apple seedlings stay nice and moist. I'm probably going to put them all together in a small container where they can all be in a row together and I can water them at the same time. My beans can go outdoors. But just make sure you're watering them every other day or every day if it's a hot day and you haven't had any rain. And they'll love to be in a larger container. So I feel that this experiment was really successful for me. I hope it was successful for you. I hope you enjoy planting some seeds, and I hope you continue to plant some more seeds and have fun this spring. Thank you so much, boys and girls, for joining me for a little splash of science. I miss you guys so much. Enjoy your spring break if I don't see you before then on our little experimental channel. Have a great day.